Welcome to Teaching with Moodle. This is the Week 4 tutorial. This week we're going to answer the questions, what is advanced Moodling and where do I go from here? The Teaching with Moodle course covers the basic features for beginners with Moodle, but if you take your training further, there are other advanced options you can study. We're going to look briefly at 2 advanced activities, workshop and lesson, and 4 advanced settings, checkboxes, badges, competencies and restricting access. First of all, workshop. This is something participants are doing at the moment with the My Home Country workshop. It allows for peer and self-assessment, and you, the teacher, can decide the grading criteria which all students will use to peer assess. And you can also decide whether you yourself want to choose who assesses whose work, or whether you want to let Moodle do it automatically. Participants get 2 grades, both for submitting and for assessing each other, and you can find out more about the workshop activity in the documentation. The second advanced activity is a lesson, and we have an example of this in week 4, where you learn how to save your practice course to take it away with you to add to different Moodle sites. Lesson has similarities with the book in that participants move from different pages, but you can also add questions to lesson, and you can grade it. Its major feature is its branching option, which means that students can be sent to different pages according to how they respond to your questions. This makes it ideal for independent, personalised learning and decision-making exercises, role-play scenarios, as you can see here with this first aid simulation. You can find out more in the documentation on the lesson activity. Now let's look at 4 advanced settings. If you don't see these in your Moodle course, then you need to check with your administrator that they've been enabled site-wide. The first of these is the tick or check boxes that you've been seeing to track your progress in the Teaching with Moodle course. If you want to use these as a teacher in your own course, go to the Gear menu, click Edit Settings and then Enable Completion Tracking. This will then open up for you in each of your activities and your sections, Activity Completion, and you can either allow the students to mark the activity completed themselves by ticking a box with a solid line border, or you can allow the activity to be automatically marked complete according to certain criteria, in which case they'll see a box with a dotted line border. You can find out more in the documentation on activity completion. And if you do have activity completion enabled, it can help you with course completion, which we won't explore here, but which you can learn about if you take further training, or you can read in the documentation. And it also helps with badges. If you click the More link from the Gear menu and then click Add a new badge, then you can either add a new badge manually or have it awarded automatically. As a teacher, you can only award a course badge, and make sure that you upload a good image which you have permission to use. You can either decide yourself who you want to give the badges to, or you can use activity completion to set the criteria for awarding the badge. You can find out more in the Moodle documentation on badges. Competencies are new and very complex. They go beyond the realm of individual courses. Administrators set up competency frameworks, which teachers can then use in their courses from the link in the nav drawer. For instance, our Teaching with Moodle course has competencies for understanding course setup, blocks and file management. These can be attached to activities so that when a student completes an activity, the competencies are met. If we click our Week 1 quiz as the teacher and scroll down to its competencies settings, we see those 3 competencies linked to the quiz. A course teacher can track the progress of their students from the competency breakdown report accessed from the More link in the Gear menu. Here we can see participant Sam is competent in those skills. Administrators can add learning plans, which students access from their profile, as here, or from a Learning Plans block on their dashboard. Join our special competencies forum on Moodle.org and find out more in the documentation on competencies. Finally, teachers can restrict access to sections and activities based on certain conditions, such as completing a previous activity or until a certain date and time. We've used both of these methods in our Teaching with Moodle course. When you go to your activity, you'll have a section Restrict Access, and then you can choose the way that you want to restrict access, activity completion, grade, and so on. It's a popular feature, so developers are adding new restrictions. For instance, on our Learn Moodle site, we have a restriction whereby you can choose to display or not display an activity depending on if the student is using the mobile app. The documentation will give you more information on this. So hopefully, you've had a brief overview of 2 advanced activities and 4 advanced settings, so where to go from here. Please look at Moodle Partner Services and Moodle Cloud in week 4. Moodle.com is where you go to find out about Moodle Partner Services, such as further training, and you can also go there to get a Moodle Cloud site or learn about how to get hosting for your school or organisation. And of course, Moodle.org is where we will continue the conversations after the end of this MOOC, and we hope to meet you all again on the community forums there. See you soon.